Hi, the following is a list of my personal top 10 projects. I guarantee you won't believe number 3. Number 10. Gonna start with my first modern woodworking project. I got a pocket hole jig and used the miter saw and the circular saw I had and made this DVD rack. It's made out of select pine I got from the big box store and a plywood back. I was inspired from a woodworking magazine that had making without a shop, and I certainly had none at that time. Number 9. I had one of these Super Tote toys when I was a kid, and just like the one I made, you whacked him on the head and he kicked the football. I just decided to challenge myself and make a rather simple mechanical toy. Since he was so beefy, because I needed to make it big so I could do the mechanics, I gave him number 76. Now, old-time football fans should be able to guess why I did that. Number 8. Here's a project that's inspired by the magazine that got me back woodworking. This is the first table I ever made, and it's also a pocket hole screw project. The article in the magazine had the top made of oak and the bottom made of poplar and painted. I didn't want to do that, so I made it all out of red oak, and I simply stained the top a golden oak, and I stained the bottom Jacobine, dark. Number 7. Now this is the oldest project that I still have. I did this when I was a kid when I was in 4-H for a while. Now I can't remember for certain, but I'm pretty sure I used power tools on this, probably my father's radial arm saw. I can't recall if it ever was actually used as a toolbox, but now it usually sits under our sink holding cleaning supplies. Number 6. I used an Arduino and some LEDs to make a simple color organ. I played a heartbeat soundtrack through an old MP3 player and enclosed the whole thing in a bowl that made it look like there was a creepy beating heart underneath the candy. Now, the problem is with daylight savings time going so late anymore, for the first hour of trick-or-treating, you could hardly see the light. I hope to use the beating heart piece in a Haunted Mansion bride project someday. Number 5. What? Real woodworking? Perish the thought. Yes, on this table, I actually do mortise and tenon joinery. I know it feels weird not using pocket screws. It really does. Actually, this project was going to be a nightstand, but I screwed up the legs, so I shortened them and tried again, and now it was too short to be a nightstand, so it just became a small end table. Number 4. Now I think this step poser is a clever design, but I can't claim to have really come up with it. I saw something similar online. I did this project relatively quickly because my wife had a photo shoot coming up. I really like how this folds up for storage. I'd played with other designs, but they all seem to be too bulky and hard to store. Number 3. The Empire State Building. Number 2. This is a thing that I made that my family gets the most use of by far. It's a shaker-inspired coat rack. Strangely, although there's a peg for every member of my family, we still seem to need to hang more coats than that. Also, the drawers don't get used very much. Plus, when I glued the front panels on, they shifted slightly and so were crooked. So I added shims inside the drawers to make them look nice on the outside. Number 1. At the time I wanted to do this, I had no bandsaw of any kind. I still wanted to make a bandsaw style box. So I made a pattern with a jigsaw. I used a pattern bit on the router table to trace the pattern and build it up layer by layer. I was so thrilled by the results. Like I said in this video, I'm normally a little disappointed when I finish a project, but not that time. I was ecstatic.